And Ripple is going to buy even more XRP from people who aren't tied to the company. This is to settle their new loan, which is the stash of digital assets. We need to find out what this means and where this XRP is coming from. What did exchange have to do with it? That was the first thing I thought. Does it come from empty places? I know more than what you asked for. I also have a new clip from Brad Garlinghouse to give you. In fact, I've never seen this one before. Also, today I learned something new about Grus. Let's get to the news right away. If you think the video is good, please click like to support the station. It would be very helpful. Ripple wants to buy XRP and needs at least $1 billion to do so. Nate Garassi says that the new XRP debt or digital asset fund is a loan. Let's read this quickly. For Ripple Labs Inc. to buy XRP, the digital coin that is linked to the company, they need to raise at least $1 billion. Now that the market is less stable, this shows that big cryptocurrency companies are still going after their business goals with all their might. From what people who know about it say, the money will be saved in a brand new digital asset bank, or DAT. People who didn't want to be named said that the money would come from SPAC, a business that buys rare and valuable things. Ripple would also give some of its own XRP. What does it all mean? Some asked. They want to use this $1 billion to build the largest XRP-focused bank ever, with both large institutions and small businesses as customers. You can use money to buy XRP right away. An event planning business or spa is used to raise money. In traditional finance, structures like these are often used to get money for certain projects or purchases to show that they still back XRP. This treasure chest will get some of the XRP that Ripple owns. The plan is still being talked about, and the deal's details have not been set in stone yet. When a debt Ripple is made, the strategy goals will shift from managing supply to controlling demand. This is because institutional capital will be put straight into building up XRP. G Treasury was also bought by Ripple not long ago for $1 billion. Yesterday I wrote a lot for Familiar about that. It's a $120 trillion business just to get into the troves of companies. Getting this kind of piece can help Ripple compete with big banks like JP Morgan. This move makes it easier for Ripple to compete with big crypto holding companies. It also makes XRP more well known as a real asset that can be used to make global payments. Something like this has happened before with Bitcoin. And here's what happened. Most companies that store digital assets, those who have focused on Bitcoin and Ethereum, have had mixed results. A few have had major long-term success, while many others have done worse than holding digital assets directly. That's why Bitcoin, DAT companies, Metaplanet, and MicroStrategy all got it. Some of those names you may have heard. I'm not going to read it all for you. This is already being done, and some of it works, and some of it doesn't. Bitmine and a few other businesses use Ethereum DAT, so that area taught us that companies own digital assets worth $100 billion, but only 3 big companies own most of them. Plan, Metaplanet, and Bitmine. Those are the 3 most important ones. To put it another way, it looks like Ripple wants to fight with these companies. Bloomberg has even written something about this story. It's really important. Do you want to know how much XRP is still on the market? Because if Ripple does spend $1 billion to buy more XRP, where is the cash going to come from? It could have been bought on the open market or somewhere in between. It sounds like a mix of the two will make it happen. It will cost $1 billion for Ripple Labs to buy XRP. Yes. Does Ripple have the ability to buy XRP from itself or from someone else? There are billions of XRP held by Ripple in cash and in trust accounts that release money every month. A trust fund is released in steps, with some money being paid out every month. The rest of the money stays locked on the record because that's how the conditions were set. Ripple can use newly released XRP for its own business, or to sell on platforms. However, it has always used XRP to put new XRP into lockup. It's now 2025, and Ripple has sent back about 700 million XRP, which is about 70% of that amount. In other words, you get the billion XRP freed up a lot. It was a little less 1 month. Last year it was 80%. They locked up 800 million XRP again when there were already a billion out there. They really want to take good care of all this XRP, so it doesn't flood the market and weaken our stocks. Due to the way their trust is set up, Ripple can use XRP to fund their treasury project. For the most part, though, people will buy their new currency from people who sell it on the open market. That's what we want to hear, ladies and gentlemen. It helps the market stay open and makes things easier. We do want this. We want even more people to want to buy from markets, where there is already not much stock. Now you add this, right? You can work for something else. To go over that one more time, I believe other companies have been trying to do the same thing. Some businesses have tried to become banks, but not on this large of a scale. They have only tried to buy and hold XRP for a long time, or to buy and hold XRP for a long time and use it for transfers. In this kind of party, the first people who join usually get the best terms and prices. while the last people to join usually get the worst terms. This could make people at other institutions who want to do the same thing need to hurry up and join. Other companies might feel like they need to act quickly and do the same thing, which it would be great for everyone. What to do best? Ripple has usually used a mix of direct institutional sales contracts, lockups, restrictions, and disclosures to share XRP. They have also done programmatic sales on exchanges, anonymous trading like other market players, and holding some XRP for partners or internal needs on occasion. Ripple doesn't know the exact person they're doing business with because most of their automatic sales have gone through exchanges. That's interesting, and it's valid in court. Let's say you can't trade on you can help friends or get inside information. I've written some thoughts about rules and laws below because I think they are also important for us to understand. Ripple is limited by regulators in what it can do to buy and sell XRP. This is especially true for large straight institutional sales that could be seen in the US as security contracts. A lot of the time, people have thought of programmatic sales on platforms as securities offerings, if they include ads about how to make money from Ripple's work, or lockups for specific investors. People can buy XRP directly from their own stocks, or Ripple can avoid being accused of price fixing, or dealing with people who are not competing with them by buying a lot of XRP on the market. This is only true if the new escrow is properly revealed and structured. As long as the rules on the ledger are followed, you can use encrypted XRP for business purposes. But buying a lot of things from open markets shows that people want markets to be open and for natural demand to grow. I think Ripple made a great move here. You have the money. Let's use it. Make the other people in the market suffer. Let the other groups show their cards. Okay? As I already said, this might make other groups feel like they need to join. Now we can start to see what the big business wants with XRP. That is a really cool move. This clip from Ripple did seem like a good fit for this page. People who invest in cryptocurrencies did talk a little about this. It's interesting that Ripple did nothing but watch all of these Bitcoin and Ethereum debts pile up over the past year, he says. Just when the markets are going down, Ripple says it needs people to keep your XRP. I'm going to play this again to give you more information. Some digital asset treasury companies have been raising their prices, but I think this method and the one before it have been able to stop that trend. This is especially true when you look at the net asset value of the assets they hold. But do you think a bigger debt bubble could hurt that person's mind if it bursts? That question is very good. Do you agree that the boom may have already ended in some ways? I mean, I don't have the numbers. I can't be sure. But I believe that 80% of the deaths are listed below their true value at the moment. How would that burst if it hasn't already? One example is that a crypto reserve shouldn't trade below right now.